We've also had lots of lightning pops as well, another significant danger, although those are kind of few and far between at this hour. Still in the southern part of the viewing area, it's significant. Lots of showers building from the mouth of Charlotte Harbor back, and the problem with this structure is that this could lead to one shower after another moving over the same general locations in the southern tip of Charlotte County that could lead to some localized flooding. Had an higher than average tidal gauge reading this morning, about 2 foot above average, but we're on our way down to a low tide. So the rest of the afternoon should be pretty smooth sailing, especially as we watch this wind field begin to lessen in intensity. Steve Newman also in the Weather Center today, watching the storm carefully. Steve, your thoughts?
Well, John, this could be looked at as a dry run, but except it rains so heavily, it's a wet run for the hurricane season. It got our attention, just reminding us that we are entering the increasing part of the hurricane season. And every week we go through early September, the chances of tropical storms increase. Again, John was mentioning the rain is pretty much eased off except in South County and around Charlotte Harbor. So those local areas of flooding should be subsiding in the next few hours. And we'll be talking more about that. John will be back with a complete weather forecast in a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Steve, thank you. The tropical storm also causing some closures today in South Sarasota County. ABC7's Christopher Brantley joins us now live from the Venice Pier with more on that. Christopher?
Good afternoon, Scott, from Sharky's, where they have battened down the hatches in anticipation of all of this heavy wind, hoping to keep things from blowing away. And if you look behind me here, you can see the Venice Fishing Pier. It is actually still open despite the heavy winds. But if you can see just a little bit beyond, I'm not sure how well it translates, you can see the sun is starting to poke out. However, just at the south jetties, just a little bit north of here, the jetty is closed, at least on the south side, out of a precaution because the Gulf waves have been crashing well over the jetty walls. When we were out there earlier, the winds were strong enough that it was actually hard to stand up at some points. There was some pretty heavy wind gusts. Also in the city of Venice, the city fountains at Centennial Park, where families spend a whole lot of summer afternoons, they have been closed and turned off until further notice. Now, down in the city of Northport, anytime there are heavy rains, the public works staff does have to keep a close eye on water levels in the many different waterways in an effort to keep flooding down to a minimum. They have not reported any serious flooding at this point. However, the waterways that store a lot of the rainwater, they have been rising, although the city of Northport can change those water levels and drain them out to keep the flooding down to a minimum. Now, both the city of Venice and the city of Northport officials have said they will continue to monitor the storm throughout the day. Back here at Sharky's, they have some dining open, and they are hoping that the storm will clear up enough so that some folks can come out here and have dining out on the beach this evening. We'll continue to follow this and bring you updates as they warrant. For now, live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you so much. Well, one area that typically and historically experiences flooding issues during events like this is Anna Maria Island. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick shows us the conditions on Anna Maria.
Good afternoon. I'm on Anna Maria Island, and while it may look like there's a river flowing behind me, it's actually the roadways. I'm near the corner of Golf Drive and Marina Drive, and this area just continues to flood and get worse as the day goes. I did walk into the middle of the flooded area over there. It is about 6 inches deep at this point in time, and this is not the only section of the island that is flooding. If you drive down any of the major roadways, you'll come through some large puddles of rain. Most of the major roadways, for the most part, are okay. It's those back and side roads that are severely flooded. There are some trash cans floating. There are some cars, pushing their way through, trying to get through. When you go over to the beach here on Anna Maria Island, the waves are crashing along the shore, and the winds have calmed down a little bit now, but just about an hour or so ago, those wind gusts were pretty high. The rain was moving almost horizontally here on the island, but we will continue to keep you updated as the day goes. Reporting on Anna Maria Island, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you so much. And all that rainfall we've seen today causing multiple streets in the Bradenton area to close and several areas to flood. ABC7's Adam Cellini joins us now live from the Bradenton waterfront with the latest on the conditions there. Adam?
Yes, Scott, I'm standing along the riverfront, river walk rather, here in downtown Bradenton. You can see things pretty choppy out there on the Manatee River right now. The waves kind of hitting up against the seawall, but this is much calmer than it was. As Jess mentioned, just an hour ago we had that big system. We were under a tornado warning out here in downtown Bradenton, and you could definitely tell by the wind gusts. The wind was really howling, and even before that, some flooding in residential areas of Bradenton right by Whitfield Avenue and the Whitfield Estates neighborhood. By definite flooding in certain parts, cars having to turn around and reverse their direction right by Our Lady of Martyrs Church, especially in that neighborhood. And Manatee Sheriffs did have Whitfield shut down about 2 hours ago heading eastbound. We are unsure if that road has still opened yet. We'll keep you posted on the conditions out here in Bradenton. As I mentioned, a little calmer than they were during that tornado warning, and we will continue to try and keep you updated as this weather develops. For now, live in Bradenton, I'm Adam Cellini. Scott, back to you.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. And it's a great reminder there when we see those cars trying to go through those flooded areas. Really don't risk it. You can't tell from your car how deep that water may be. You may not only get caught in it, but you may damage your vehicle as well. So it's best just to turn around and find another way to where you're going. Now, there's also some news. If you have some flooding in your area, sandbags are now available in Sarasota County. Residents can get those sandbags and pick them up to protect their homes from any potential flooding. They're available today at 3 locations through 5 o'clock this afternoon. Those 3 are Newtown Estates Park, Twin Lakes Park, that's in East Sarasota County, just off of Clark Road, and then east of the interstate, I should say. And then in South Sarasota County at the Fleet facility, they will have sandbags available at those locations today through 5 o'clock, and then tomorrow again from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. if you need those. ABC7 wants to make sure you are fully prepared for hurricane season. We have all kinds of useful information about how to prepare for these storms in our hour-long special called Surviving a Hurricane. It's now available on our other platforms, including Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. You can also download this year's hurricane guide. That's on our website. Just go to mysuncoast.com.